the damage. 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Joe Reichel is here from Damage Control Services. If you're trying to fix something and you need a little advice on how to do that, maybe which tools to use, which supplies to get, or maybe whether you need a professional, Joe Reichel is here to answer your questions regarding that stuff. The phone number is 622-9622, and of course he's here to give you other information as well, like maybe the weather forecast. I'm not so sure.
Well, we can talk about lightning.
Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Have you ever had a home that was damaged from lightning?
Oh, yeah. We've had several.
Really?
Yeah. We've had direct
You've never talked
strikes.
about this. Have you? Lightning rods? So. Did that come up before?
We've talked about lightning rods, and they're a great way to protect a home from lightning strikes. But you know, in Florida, you know, we get lots of lightning capital of the world. So we get all of this, all of these lightning strikes, and it's good to be prepared for that. Especially this time of the year, we've got, you know, all the storms and whatnot, and people are worried about hurricanes and things like that. But you know, one thing that we get almost every day here, and especially with these afternoon storms, is the lightning. So being prepared for that is, and a lot of times people, they plug in with a surge protector and they think that they're good to go. But the only way that you can definitely protect your appliances or your electronics, not necessarily appliances, but your electronics, is to unplug them whenever you're
that's the only way.
Not using them.
Yeah, that's the only way.
So, but I mean, we get chimneys that are struck by lightning. I saw one the other day, was a house, and pieces of the block and stone everywhere because it was struck.
Oh, really?
We've had houses that have a tree was hit just outside, and the tree fell on the house, and because of the lightning.
Oh,
so
wow.
We've had that kind of damage as well.
You do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe.
Yes, good morning, Joe and Larry.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hey, last year, we had an electrical storm, and the guy my neighbor across the street got nailed. A tree next to the house, and they got in the house, and he ended up over $10,000 worth of damage. TVs, appliances, microwave, you name it. And I immediately afterwards researched it out, and I put a surge protector in my house, and hope it'll work. But the question I have is for like lightning rod stuff. Who would you contact to have something like that installed? And is there a business that does that here? Do you think there would be?
There are several businesses that do it. I don't know of any directly. I'm sure just a Google search would be able to find an answer for that as far as a company that would install them. And they're a great way to protect your home, because that the lightning hits that rod. The electrical current then is transferred down the wires and into the ground where it's dispersed. So it's
I know in the past on this program, this subject, I have mentioned the fact that up in Wisconsin, especially out in the rural areas, you do not see a building without a lightning rod, like the barns or sheds or outhouses or whatever, and you come down here to Florida, which is we're supposed to be like on the northern edge of the lightning capital of the United States. You couldn't find a lightning rod if you paid me to find one. They're just not existing. To me, it's unusual.
I know there's several of the homes down the villages. A lot of the homes down there, the homeowners have them installed on their homes. So, and I've seen them down that way before. So, I know there are companies that do it. I just don't know of any in our area. That I've never had contact with any of them.
Yeah, my wife being an insurance agent, she's not here right now, but I can ask her. I would imagine you might get a break on your insurance if you do put a rod on your house to protect it.
I don't know the answer to that.
That is a good question, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to ask her when she comes home.
Yeah, just...
I'm looking into it. I put the surge in last year, and we had a couple of real beauty storms here last week, and one of the trees back behind me, the wooded area, took a hit, and the tree's sitting in two pieces, and I thought, well, I'm glad it hit that tree and not my house. So
exactly.
I'm going to kind of look into it, see what's going on.
Well, and that's, I was just looked it up here, and it's, according to a Google search, it says there's 1.45 million lightning strikes each year in Florida.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Who knew?
1.45 million lightning strikes. So that's a lot.
Probably the majority of lightning strikes do slight damage, right? Not major damage.
Yeah, and that's where you see them. They hit trees and it will kill the tree or whatnot. And a lot of them, the vast majority, do not hit a home or a building. So.
Yeah. When it hits a building like a roof, what is it? Put the insulation on fire? Is that the first thing that would catch fire, or the roofing material itself is asphalt, so you wouldn't think that would burn real quick?
No, but you're talking about intense heat here, so the insulation is not necessarily flammable or not. It takes a little bit to get that on to catch fire, but you're talking about such an intense heat that. It would catch, and typically, though, it's not necessarily a fire that's caused by lightning as much as the damage from the current, where it's just, blows everything apart.
Right. Well, they say that a lightning bolt is hotter than the surface of the sun, so I guess it's something to be concerned about.
Exactly.
Wow.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
You have another phone call, Joe. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Hi, Joe. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Just a word. The gentleman just before was saying that he never sees lightning rods. Evidently, he's not been out on a golf course here, but
right. Well, typically, I think he's talking more on the homes.
But one of my neighbor, my sister's neighbor at Spruce Creek, Del Webb, over in south of Bellevue, just a few days ago, lightning storm, and the lightning hit her house, and it looked like a bomb went off inside the house.
Oh, wow.
And it literally, the roof, within about 5 minutes, the entire house was, the roof had collapsed. And,
oh, man.
she was out of the house, and, but like 5 or 10 minutes. It was such an intense, like you were saying. And that was amazing. But, you don't see lightning rods down here so much as what you would think you would. I guess people think, well, if I put it on my roof, it's going to attract the lightning even more so. So maybe that's the mentality of it.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly going to look into putting one on my house. I can assure you that, since I saw what it did to their house.
Wow.
And you said that was in the Spruce Creek area?
Yeah, Spruce Creek Del Webb over in, as you're going south of Bellevue, just on the left-hand side, you got right into there.
Where that fountain is.
Just past the Marion Market.
Yep. So that home, you're saying it caught fire and...
After the lightning hit it, and then the fire, it evidently, it was just devastating. It was unbelievable. It looked like, really looked like a bomb had gone off in that house.
Wow.
And I'm sure most of it, of course, I saw it afterwards, but they said by the time the fire department got there, the house was just engulfed. And the house was completely destroyed. And it was just amazing. You don't think it's going to happen. Don't ever think it's going to happen to you. It can never happen to you, but
yeah, really,
it's just going to happen to the next guy.
Well, and that's where it's like we were saying, so many lightning strikes, and the vast majority don't do extreme devastation like that. But we had one very similar to what you're talking about in the Villages several years ago, that the house caught fire because of a lightning strike, and it was a complete rebuild. So we had to take all the down to the block, clean everything out down to the block walls, and then build everything again. So.
Oh, I'm sure that's what they're going to have to do to this one, because the soffits all the way around the house were just completely melted and falling down on the ground, and I would say 3/4 of the roof was completely gone.
Crazy. Well, thank you for the call. We've got to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about lightning.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Today, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Watch for localized flooding. Today's high 85 to 89. Partly cloudy late tonight, low 72 to 76. For tomorrow, clouds will limit sunshine. Look for a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm or two. Tomorrow's high between 86 and 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
When we buy a vacation, we're also buying a story. So even if the happiness bump from a vacation is long over, when we retell the story of how a pickpocket took our phone in Cabo, we get a happiness boost. Because with every sunburn, we're speeding up the skin aging process. When we skip the burns and apply sunscreen every day, we slow skin aging by up to 25%. Research shows that our biggest diet mistake is usually alcohol.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Career Source Citrus Levy Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source Citrus Levy Marion and learn how they can help you.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Joe Reichel is here. The show is called Damage Control. It's right now 80 degrees, and there's a 100% chance we'll see thunderstorms today. How about that? To fit in with your topic. Do you know, you mentioned that you found some people in town that do the lightning rod installations, but I have a real quick question. I don't know if you'll know the answer, but okay. I was at a horse farm one time, and there was a lightning rod on top of a roof, like where the horses would eat. It wasn't a stall, really. It was just like this area that was covered, I guess, to keep the food dry, the hay dry, whatever it is.
A little pole barn area.
And the cable that led from the lightning rod to the ground was like blown apart. Do lightning rods work only one time? Like once they're hit, they can work many times? Okay. Because I didn't know if lightning blew it apart or what happened to that thing.
Maybe a horse chewed on it.
I'm laughing. Maybe you could be right.
Horses.
But a lightning rod won't be destroyed by lightning.
No. No, it's meant to conduct so the lightning travels through it. So.
But and the man said something I've often actually wondered: will a lightning rod attract lightning, or is it just, in other words, if lightning is coming at your house, it's better for it to hit the rod than your house?
Yes, lightning is going to be attracted to that rod because it is metal. But if it's going to be hitting in the area, and that's the thing, lightning can strike next to the house, not necessarily hit the house. It can strike next to the house and still cause the damage, or next to the building or whatever, and still cause significant damage because lightning travels vertically instead of just once it hits the ground it's done. That's not necessarily the case.
Do you know, I know this is going to sound crazy, and I hope I'm not remembering it wrong. It was a long time ago, but I remember lightning hitting the street outside the house I was in. And I was in the kitchen, and it was instant, so it wasn't like I had time to think about it, but I saw a spark jump from the stove to the refrigerator. It was just like a 1-inch gap because the stove was right next to the refrigerator. And the light, boom, it was a huge boom, and my brother actually saw the lightning hit the street, and at the exact same time I saw the little tiny arc, whatever, And nothing got burned out or anything, so I guess we lucked out.
Well, it could have been far enough that it wasn't, the surge wasn't strong enough to cause any sort of a problem, and that's why you never want to take the chances, and that's why they talk about being on the telephone or in particular a landline whenever there's thunderstorms, lightning storms. Not wanting to, you should not be taking a shower or even washing your hands, because the water gets in the water, and that water's a conductor for electricity.
Yeah, I know. I see people. We're at Silver Springs, we'll see people in their kayaks and their canoes, and they're not getting out. And there's a storm. It's like, wow, they're taking a risk.
Yes. I mean, even as something as simple as just washing your hands. I mean, it's just lightning can.
So what do all the alligators just get dead? I mean, they just start floating down the river after a lightning strike? Boom! Just.
If it was a direct, if it was a, they would feel the effects of it, but it's not necessarily going to kill them. If it was, if it hit the water, immediately where they're at, they would feel it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but they got a brain the size of a lima bean.
Yeah, but
they always teach you.
They're pretty tough.
They're very tough.
So I think
they don't need brains. They got brawn, right?
They got the bronze, yeah. Exactly. So yeah, all I did was Googled lightning protection, Ocala, Florida, and a couple companies came up there. So
do you know the people?
I do not.
No,
I do not. But it would be neat to find out a little bit more about them and what they do, I'm sure. So,
because I'm sure you would rather people not have to call you.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the whole. I'm the last guy that I want you to have to call,
right?
Unless you're wanting an addition or some remodeling work done,
right?
If you're calling me because lightning struck your house, or you have a flood, or a fire, or you have mold, any of these disasters that we talk about, it's not a good time. You're not, this isn't something that you're wanting to do or wanting to go through. And typically there's a lot of emotional stress that goes with that, from the added anxiety of having the disaster to having to work with the insurance company and people coming in your home and fixing everything and putting everything back, and first tearing it apart, then putting it all back together. It's a very stressful situation. Perfect case in point this past, and this is kind of, this little story will emphasize what I'm talking about, but really it's minor. On Friday afternoon, or I guess it was Friday afternoon, I got a phone call from a guy that had a flood in his kitchen. A line broke underneath the sink and flooded out the kitchen. He reached down there to turn it off. Water is hitting him so hard that he couldn't even see where couldn't tell where the water was coming from.
Oh no!
But what it was, the pipe had broke, so he wouldn't have been able to turn it off anyway.
Oh no!
So he goes in the garage, gets a wrench, goes out to the street, turns off his water. He's able to do that. He knows where the water is, and that's kind of a good reminder for everybody to know where and how to turn the water off to your house if you need to, in case of an emergency. But anyway, he gets the water turned off, calls his insurance agent. His insurance agent calls me. I go out there to get the guys, and we all go out there, and talking to the guy, and I make plans to come back on Saturday, but in the meantime, we're setting up all the equipment. We've got dehumidifiers and fans. And here's an older guy. He has got 2 dogs. The dogs are stressed out because all these guys and equipment were all in their house.
Right.
And they're sweet little dogs, but they don't know what to do.
Right.
All the equipment and the fans are blowing, and it's scaring these dogs. The guy can't sleep at night, so because all the noise in the house, and this is what we come across all the time. So you have a disaster, and it is a very stressful situation because of everything that you're now going to have to go through.
Right.
It's not necessarily a pleasant experience where, okay, we're doing some construction and we're doing building or whatever, and there's always more to it than that. Met with a homeowner last week about tearing up some wood floor in her house, and it's glued down, tearing this all up. She wants to put in a wood-looking tile. It will be an incredible project, beautiful, but there's going to be 2 weeks probably worth of work in her house just to do this.
Right.
So not only is she going to be stressed, all the family stressed as they're going through this situation because people are working in their home, but also the added dust,
right,
and the mess,
right.
And we will plastic off the cabinets and everything, but she's not going to be able to use her kitchen while we're working in there, and it's all added stress. People don't take this into consideration or think about this.
Yeah, I bet.
The added pressure that you're going to have to face.
Right. And if it's something you're doing voluntarily, like a remodeling job,
right,
I guess you have time to think about, get your mind set for that, what you just described. But if it's a tree or lightning or something suddenly that you didn't expect,
you've got this disaster in your house, and now you've got to figure out what you're going to do or where you're going to go. One homeowner we're working with, they've got great young couple. They've got 4 dogs, and trees have hit their house, and they've got to move out. And so now they've got to find somewhere, a temporary rental that they can get, and they're going to have to move in there. And now they've got to take care of these 4 dogs, and so finding a place that you can have pets, a temporary rental, is not necessarily the easiest situation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so absolutely right. So your job is so multi-layered, I guess.
Yes, lots of layers
because of that part.
Mm-hmm. And and just answering the questions that they have, and every job is different. Every question, we've got multiple clients and multiple different types of jobs going on, and they're all unique in their own little ways. So
I thought he was waving at us. Now he is.
Joe's waving.
I wasn't sure. Well, really good show today. Really brought attention to something we should pay attention to, and that is a way to protect ourselves from lightning.
I believe I'm going to do a blog on that. I haven't done this week's blog yet, so we'll probably do it on lightning protection and how to protect your home and what to do. So if you want to sign up for that blog, email me or call me, and I can get you on that weekly email blog where we give tips and techniques for things that homeowners can do to protect themselves and themselves and their property from damage, how to prevent disasters, and then what to do afterwards. So. And
how do we find the blog?
Well, you can text me or call me 352-817-6574. Or email me, Joe at damageflorida, all spelled out, damageflorida.com.
Okay. Thank you, Joe, for what you do. I'm going to look to see what I have. I don't think I have anything. And the other thing is the lightning hitting a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't hit you, it hits a tree. And the tree can die. Maybe not immediately, but it doesn't.
And if it's a bad strike, one that we had, it sent pieces of that tree hundreds of yards away. So into the neighbor's
hundreds of yards.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If it's a bad strike, it'll cause lots of damage.
All right. Well, you guys be careful out there. You really have to risk, too. I mean, you've got to be on roofs. You've got to be in flooded areas. Wow. Thank you, Joe.
Life is full of excitement.
Call Joe. Get one of his magnetic business cards. Put it on your refrigerator, because one day, hopefully, you'll never need it.
One day, hopefully, you'll never need it.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages.
Fox News Radio, I'm Gary Baumgarten. 3 cabinet members on Capitol Hill defending the Iran deal. Some on the House Foreign Affairs Committee expressing skepticism.
We have been surprised by most every major nuclear development in Iran's history.